Why was it important for the Rebbe to call the Friedeke Rebbe Moshiach?
So there's a few points over here, and we won't get into all of them, but maybe a few of the points that we can. The Chanin Sefer says that in every generation there's a Moshiach of that generation, and that it was also mishur, it was something which people generally knew approximately who probably, or they were able to take a good guess, an educated guess, who is the Moshiach of that generation. When it comes time for him to be revealed, he'll be revealed. In addition, there's something that the Gemara tells us, that every student said about their teacher that he's Moshiach. And like the Gemara says, Devei Rabbi Shilo Amri Shiloi Shemai, the students of Rabbi Shilo, they said that his name is Shiloi, and they brought the proof from the pasuk. Devei Rabbi Yanai Amri Yanai Shemai, or Yinoin Shemai, and they brought the proof from the pasuk. The students of Rabbi Yanai, they said his name is Yanai or Yinoin, and the students of Rabbi Chanina, they said that his name is Rabbi Chanina. Now, the concept of that idea, the Rebbe explains a very interesting point about it. So first of all, there's the idea that the student says his teacher is Mashiach, and the question is, why is that so important? So we'll see that in a moment. But secondly, there's the concept that the Rebbe says, Rashi says, Kol echad haya doirish achar shmoi. Each teacher would darshan the pasuk in a way, in a manner that it pertains to his name. And the Rebbe is medayik from that. It's not that the students decided, Lo isha talmidim chidshu sheshmoi keshmoi rabbim. It's not that the students decided that their teacher's name is the name of Mashiach. The teacher would darshan the pasuk in a more hidden way, in a way that he alluded to the fact that Mashiach's name is so-and-so, so that the students understood from that he was really speaking about himself, and that's why they said it. This concept, the question is, why is that so necessary and why is it so important? The Rebbe one time told a story, and the Rebbe said that when the Alter Rebbe was in Mezrich, so the Alter Rebbe would farbreng with a group, a minyan. He had 10 simple or average Jews. They weren't necessarily the greatest sages, the greatest Talmidei Chachamim, and he would farbreng with them. He would teach them Chassidus, etc. And one time he was farbreng with them, was in Shleishes Yemei Hagbala, was in the 3 days of preparation for Shavuos. And the Alter Rebbe said to them the following. It says in the pasuk that Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, "V'gam b'cha yaminu le'olam." Now that you're going to, the Jewish people will see that I'm speaking to you, they'll believe in you forever. And the question, there's a few questions that are asked, like the question that the commentaries asked, is Hashem being meshachet? Is Hashem bribing Moshe Rabbeinu? Are they going to believe in you? What's the big deal? Why is that so important? But another question that the Alter Rebbe asked, which also the commentaries ask, it says, so just the previous parsha, it says, "Vayaminu b'Hashem u'b'Moshe avdei." They believed in Hashem and in His servant Moshe, so they believed in Moshe already. Why does Hashem have to add now, they'll believe in you? They already believe in Him. And the Alter Rebbe said the following. Vayaminu b'Hashem u'b'Moshe avdei means that the Jewish people believed in Hashem and that they believed that there is a Moshe Rabbeinu. But not necessarily would they believe that he is the one. V'gam b'cha yaminu li'olam is that Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, not only they'll believe b'Moshe avdei that there is a Moshe Rabbeinu, but b'cha they'll believe that he is the one that's the Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Alter Rebbe continued to say, everyone knows about the Baal Shem Tov. Everyone knows about the Maggid. But what we have to believe is not only that there is a leader, but that the leader, the Moshe Rabbeinu, was the Baal Shem Tov, and that today and now it's the Maggid. And the Rebbe continued, when the Rebbe told this story, the Rebbe continued to tell something else. that when the previous Rebbe came out with the Kol Koire, with the announcement that he wanted Chassidim to tell everyone, La'alter, Ligula, that the redemption is coming immediately. Chassidim didn't just say that the redemption is coming, but they added two words, that that he, the one that said to publicize this, he himself is the one that's Mashiach. And the Rebbe continued to say that there was a chassid of the Kapushnitzer Rebbe, and he came to his Rebbe and he said to him, did you hear what the Lubavitchers are saying? They're saying that their Rebbe is Mashiach. And so the Kapushnitzer Rebbe said to his chassid, well, we all know that Mashiach has to come, so there's got to be someone who's Mashiach. I know that it's not me, and we both know that it's not you, so why do you care if it's him? The Rebbe seemed to be saying this story in continuation to the idea of who, which means that at times it's important, or it's always important, to realize not just the general idea that there is a Mashiach, that there is a Rebbe, but to know whom the Rebbe is. In truth, the Rebbe and Mashiach are really the same thing. There was an old saying from Chassidim, that if you look in the Targum, the word Umoshach Oisai, he should anoint him. The Targum says V'Rabbi Yoseh, which means Rabbi is the Aramaic translation of the word Mashiach. So when we say he's the Rebbe, we're essentially saying he's Mashiach. And it's not just a nice gleich vertel, it's not a nice saying. It's because what does a Rebbe mean? A Rebbe is the one who brings godliness into the world. That's what Mashiach is. It's not two separate ideas. That's what it's all about. But because of that, it's such an important thing, not just to know Mashiach is coming, but to know who to connect to and who to listen to, and to know whom to follow, that this is the person that's bringing godliness into the world. And just like it's important that I know that he is the Rebbe, he is the Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation, not because it makes him bigger and not because it makes me feel better, but because this is what means that just like I listen to Moshe Rabbeinu, I have to listen to him, and that he is the Memutza Mechaber, he's the one that brings godliness into the world and brings Hashem's presence to us. In the same manner, that is the same concept of him being Mashiach. He is Mashiach. He's the one that actually brings it into the world, that brings this godliness into the world, and therefore I have to follow what he teaches me in a way in order to bring the godliness and to bring about the revelation of Mashiach.